What's going on, Eagles Nation? It's your boy Showtime 804 checking back in with you, back at it like we never left. Thank you all so far who's liked and subscribed and commented on this videos. Keep doing the same thing. Let's push the brand out there. So Sunday afternoon, I should say. No game for the Eagles right now. Gotta, tough it out till tomorrow. Hope for the best. But I wanted to make a video. It's just like, what are we really doing as an organization? Who keeps leaking this stuff to the media? Now, I just read a report that's saying that the Eagles are going to try to implement Jalen Hurts more into the offense, which I think is a dumb thing. Like, why would you tell your hand before a football game that you have against a team that's pretty much owned you for the last couple of years? Just doesn't make any sense. Same thing with Doug doing last week, saying, oh, I'm going to roll Carson out more this week, and then he didn't even do it because you're setting the teams up to assist in their own game plans, and that just makes absolutely no sense. Now, we've seen that Jason Peters is now struggling with a toe injury, and it's like with Jason Peters, man, it's almost like now he gets the loser limps every time we turn around. If you see him get beat with a pass rush move, I'm talking about like flat out embarrassed. If a guy hit him with a spin move, leaves him face down on the ground, excuse me, he'll get up. Or he won't even get up. He'll just lay there. Oh, something hurts. My foot hurts. My back hurts, And it's always something with these dudes. And they kind of let the older veterans, pretty much run their team. They got this sense of entitlement where Doug is just too much of a player's coach. He's too friendly. And the players I don't think they respect him to a certain degree. I know they don't fear him because all Doug wants to do is go get some vanilla ice cream and think that everything is sweet. And it's not. You got teammates throwing your quarterback under the bus, and more hats off to Carson Wentz because he shouldn't have to put up with some of the things he puts up with. Like, he doesn't blast anybody out in the media. He takes it all on the chin week in and week out. I mean, and that shows a testament to his ability as a football player and as a leader, where he doesn't throw these guys under the bus. He can easily say Alshon isn't what he used to be and be done with it. Jason Peters doesn't need to be protecting him standing on the field, but he's always played the good soldier, and we can't expect anything less from him. And to go up against Seattle, 24 hours away, it's what can you even say about this? Like, how are you supposed to feel going into this game? You don't have any confidence in this team. It's just none. Now they want to simplify the offense. We're in week 12, week 11, week 12. Why are you waiting now? You want to simplify the offense. You should have simplified the offense when you had the chance during the bye week. But we keep putting out this sorry excuse for a product on the field. And if I'm Jeff Lurie, yeah, I'm mad. I would be walking out of practices too. I wouldn't show up to games knowing that this stuff is going on. You're tarnishing my name. And some of these players on this team, they're more concerned about their legacies and their impressions in the media than actually playing football. Like, you got Jason Kelce who refused to go into the tent because he's fighting through an injury. Then you got Lane Johnson trying to stick it out with his bad ankle for as long as he could till he felt like his ankle collapsed on him. And more power to these guys. They're getting hit, taking on the punishment, especially Carson Wentz, to be sacked 40 times through 11 games. That's and you wonder why he's struggling. Like, come on, man. Yo, we got to get it together. It's just we really have become the laughingstock. We laughed at the Cowboys and the Giants and Washington for so long for being a miserable franchise and how they're always in the media for the wrong reasons. Luckily, we don't have any issues as far as guys breaking the law or things like that. But gosh, this is it's just sickening. It's just, it keeps happening week in and week out. Somebody's leaking something to the media. We don't have any answers for it. And please keep the microphone and cameras out of Doug's face. Just don't let him do any more interviews. I know he's got to, but he just needs to learn to no comment and just be a boring, interview. Just don't give anybody any hot takes, because his reactions to the media is causing more controversy and more tensions on the team. You're asking him, is Carson Wentz going to be your starter? He can't give you a straight answer. And guys are trying to, force him and probe him into answering the questions that they want the answer that's going to cause that clickbait, and he falls for it every single time. We saw that back with the Brett Favre interview. You know, the reporter kept asking him and asking him and asking him, is this your quarterback? And he finally came out to it. But this all goes to Howie Roseman. Carson Wentz was playing well when he didn't have anybody looking over his shoulder. And now we created a quarterback controversy for absolutely no reason. The man took a dirty hit in the playoffs and he was out of the game. So now people are just questioning his, availability for us. When all Doug and anybody in the front office, stand up for your teammates, stand up for your quarterback, say he took a dirty hit. Take the $10,000 fine for being brash in the media, but just don't. You caused unnecessary problems and drama on this team that didn't need to be there. Now, every time Carson throws a bad pass, he's looking over his shoulder, wondering if this week is the week that he's going to get yanked for Jalen Hurts. And Doug is not making it any better with his play calling. You have a dynamic running back in Miles Sanders. We've seen what he can do. We can pretty much take over a game single-handedly, breaking out big runs, catching the pass on the screen, and going to the house. But we haven't done that at all this year with him. His pass catching is just pretty much, it's not even basic. It's just like, let me throw this safety route in there. Hopefully he gets 2 yards out of it. And watching Washington on Thanksgiving to see how Rivera and company leaned on their running game. Gibson single-handedly took over that game with 3 touchdowns. Alex Smith was struggling. He only had like 150 yards, but they ran the ball, and they kept running the ball. And that eased off the pressure of Alex Smith. It minimized his mistakes. Now, Alex Smith is going to be one of those guys who's going to manage the game. He's going to minimize his mistakes. But we look at Carson Wentz, and we don't do that as far as with Doug. And that just goes to show Doug is in way over his head. I'm sorry. And people can argue the fact that Doug may be a good head coach. I don't see it anymore. Doug is running around like he's an offensive coordinator, because as the head coach, you should be able to go to your defensive coordinator and tell him, hey, I don't ever want to see you give up, you give your DB 7 yards worth of cushion on a 3rd and 4, and you can see that it's a passing play. You see him come out there in that sticks defense. The wide 9, everyone knows that the wide 9 is susceptible to runs. And as aggressive as our defensive front is, they're always, out of position or misdirection. A lot of guys are never where they're supposed to be. Luckily, we haven't had the issue of guys, just running around in our secondary scot-free this year. And that's a tribute to Darius Slay. So Jim Schwartz is still not, handling things the right way. You would love to see more 2 safety sets as opposed to that single high set, because teams know how to do that. Even the casual Madden fan knows, if you see single high set into that go route, somebody's going to be open. You can't have that safe. That's too much responsibility for that safety. But it's just ready for the season to be done with. I do want them to win the division and go to the playoffs, because the team needs that. But do you want to sacrifice having Doug and Howie around for another year because they'll be able to say, hey, we won the division amidst all the turmoil that we were going through, and that gives them more leverage to stay around? Somebody's got to go. Like I said, you want to keep Howie on just for his acumen as far as contracts and trades and things like that. But as far as head of personnel, nah, somebody else has got to come in. Like I said, I never thought I would miss Joe Banner until 2020 version of Howie Roseman. Bringing guys back like Vinny Curry and Corey Clement, Jason Peters, Alshon Jeffrey. Like, we're paying Alshon Jeffrey for nothing. I don't even think he has a catch. And the man's making $18 million this year? For what? You can't even answer that with a straight face. You can't even spin that into a positive to show that what he's doing to produce for this football team. And Howie has a big problem to admit when he's wrong, when he made a mistake on a player. And it's just some of these guys we should have just moved on from. They shouldn't be here. They have no reason to be here. We saw with Ronald Darby. We knew Ronald Darby was probably our least favorite corner since Bradley Fletcher. And Howie, for some reason or another, decided he needed to bring Ronald Darby back for 1 year and then paid him more money. We knew what we were getting out of Ronald Darby. There was nothing going to be good that comes out of the play of Ronald Darby. That's why I think this team lacks. And I'm kind of glad that Jeff Lurie is at his wits' end, because, he's a good owner as far as letting the football guys do what they need to do, and he stays out of the way. So we commend him for that. But it's like to see now he's turned into one of us. He's a casual fan. It's like we all are, and he's seen enough for him to walk out of practices and not go to games. You can tell that's the owner. He is thoroughly disgusted with the effort that he's seeing out there, and he's let things go too far. That now he's having to rein it back in and get some of those guys in check. And remember, you work for me. It's not the other way around. But we just got one more day to suffer through it, and it's tough because now we, for all eyes to see on primetime, hopefully we can get a win because all of our 3 wins have come at primetime this year. And like I said, it's disheartening because now we get to watch other teams and to see how their offenses are moving with quick passes, teams running the ball. We run the ball just enough to say Doug has some running stats on the box score. But he'll call a play action on an obvious passing down. Nobody's biting on the play action. I don't know. Hopefully, all the negative attention that they're seeing in the media that that is on their head. No, matter of fact, I'm gonna stop back. I'm gonna run that back because Doug, they asked Doug a question about if he was to be fired, and he could care less about being fired. Said it wouldn't bother him one bit to be fired. We might need to go ahead and speed this process up for him, and clean house totally. If that means missing the playoffs next year because we've got a new head coach, then so be it. We do need some new flavor. I don't want any college coaches coming up. We've been down that road. No, we can't go through that ever again. We're going to need somebody with an NFL pedigree. If we can get Eric Bieniemy, I'm all for it. And have him to, somebody to bring up an established defensive coordinator. That I wouldn't mind some younger talent. Somebody to just come up with a different level, Make us remember the days when Jim Johnson was calling out defense, where he took advantage of lesser talented QBs. And we made them suffer. We made them remember that they were playing the Philadelphia Eagles. But we got one more day to sit through this, and hopefully spirits will be better tomorrow for Monday Night Football. But until then, fly Eagles fly. Let's go. Bird gang. We out.